sides of my tent. It blew the whole roof off of my tent. That's what it looks like when you don't have a roof on your tent. I recovered the roof. Boy, I would have been in trouble though if it was raining last night. All right. Is Sunday, March 6th, day 15. And yeah, last night it got crazy windy. Like I said, the roof blew off my tent because I didn't stake it down properly. And there are mistakes out here that you can make, and it's kind of interesting. There's a learning curve to them, and there are mistakes that can be quite dangerous. I would categorize that under the dangerous category last night, but it's all good. But I will definitely learn my lesson for next time. The wind is kicking up, the weather is definitely in transition for the worse, but I think today is gonna still be a decent day. The thing I was thinking about is, people might be wondering, like, is it hard to follow the trail? Do you get lost a lot? How do you do that? First of all, let me say that I think I have a pretty good sense of direction, right? If I ask for directions and somebody tells me to drive north, I actually know what that means. So I come into this with a bit of skill set for that. The trail generally is not that hard to follow. Every so often there are white rectangles painted on trees, referred to as blazes, and that means you're on the Appalachian Trail. If you see two white rectangles, that means pay attention. The trail is going to take a funky turn, and heads up. If you see a blue blaze, that means it's not the Appalachian Trail. It could be a loop trail, it could be a trail that leads to water, or it could be a trail that just leads to a scenic overlook or some other point of interest. So those are the three things you look out for on trail. Now, I have gotten off trail for not too long by just keeping my head down and missing a blaze, and you start walking and you realize you're off the trail and you got to turn around and go back. And maybe 3 days ago, I was off trail for about 20 minutes until I realized, and luckily the trail that I was on reconnected with the Appalachian Trail. That would have been an issue. But so technically, I guess for like a mile I didn't walk the Appalachian Trail. So am I a poser? If you want to unsubscribe now, I understand. But a little secret out here that I and about 95% of other hikers are using is an app on our phones called Far Out. And this app is invaluable. If the app crashed for some reason, I would just call my wife and tell her to come pick me up. That's how kind of lost, or how difficult it would be doing this hike without this app. What it is it's essentially an interactive map, and it shows you where the next water source is, where the next shelters are, where you are, the distances between the two, the elevation, and then people even comment on things like that, like, yeah, this water source actually isn't flowing today, so avoid it, or this shelter is really great, you should stay there, or the shelter has mice, make sure you hang your backpack so the mice don't eat through it into your food. So that's been completely invaluable in terms of how to navigate the AT. Now, the old head hikers who did the Appalachian Trail in the 70s, 80s, 90s even, before smartphones, you know, they kind of harass and bust on the young heads. They say, you with your apps, and first of all, their bags were twice as heavy. They were like 60-pound external frame bags, which don't have all the lightweight gizmos that the gear people today use, including myself. So their bags were twice as heavy, and they just had a paper map. And they say, like, you couldn't do the trail like I did it, back in 1989. And I'm like, you're right. I absolutely could not. I can barely do the trail now with every modern convenience and technology at my service. So I am just in awe and humbled by how the heck these people did it back in the day. All right, so the plan for today is to get to Fontana Dam, which is the start of the Smoky Mountains. So I will check in from there. All right. Another cool thing about that Far Out app that I forgot to mention is that it's downloadable maps, so it works even when you don't have service. And yeah, you might be wondering again, with the backward hat, is this what we're gonna do? Is this it for the rest of the trip, the backward hat? There's a tactical reason for this. Yesterday I had my hat on frontwards, and the visor covers my vision looking upward, and I smashed my head into an overhanging branch and went down like a sack of potatoes. I saw stars. So I think if I have my hat backwards, I'll be able to look out for those low hanging branches. Right, my second encounter with trail magic. How about that? I did grab a nice Coca-Cola. There is a Busch Light or a Busch beer here, but it's around 9:30 in the morning. So we're gonna go with the Coke. Thank you, whoever gave this. I was just talking to a young lady named Broccoli. You know, I feel like Broccoli and Captain Crunch would not get along like on a spiritual level. Through all the effort to drag a sign up here to have it point the wrong way. The Appalachian Trail is not to the left. Someone kindly X'd that out though. We're heading to the right and Fontana. Yeah, all right. I did 17 miles and I'm absolutely crushed. This is the most tired I've been on trail. I checked into a motel. I had to for mental and physical well-being. But look at this, I checked into this Southern hotel. You know how hotels have Bibles oftentimes in their bedside table? Look, this is just sitting here. Open the Bible to a specific page and verse. So I'm gonna check out this Bible verse and go to bed. All right, folks, good night.